So we're going to talk about the Tenbu. Tenbu is translated as a celestial being. I have no idea. So I have a perfect person who can talk about this kind of stuff. So please, I would love to introduce to you Mr. Mark Schumacher. Welcome, welcome.
Yoroshiku onegai itashimasu. Well, I'm not a perfect person. I'm still in the 6 realms of suffering, but the Tenbu is the 4th category that we've talked about. We had the Buddha at the top, we had the Bodhisattva, then we had the wrathful Myo-o, and now we're talking about the Tenbu. And the Tenbu are Hindu gods and goddesses who were defeated, subjugated, and then converted to Buddhism. They all accepted Buddhism and became protectors of Buddhism. This class of deities, to me, is the most interesting and also the most confusing and the most complex. And so I would like to just go to my screen show. Let's get that started. Here we are. And there we go. And can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so we talked about in the last episodes, we talked about here at the highest level of spiritual consciousness are the Buddha, and below them are the Bodhisattva, below them are the Myo-o, and today we're talking about the Tenbu, this class here, who are Hindu, originated from the Hindu pantheon. And I've added an extra photo here that we're not going to talk about them, but below them we have statues of the monks and the bushi, the people who made the statues. And then below that we're not talking about it either, but below that we have dragons and snakes and foxes and creatures who should be part of this chart. The Tenbu, is actually the kanji, the character for heaven. So yes, we can say celestial beings. We could say heavenly beings, celestial beings. But they actually refer to the Hindu diva and divai, the females and the males of the males and the females, diva male, divai female. They refer to a class of India originated gods and goddesses, non-Buddhist originally, who then are converted to the Buddhist pantheon. And the reason the diva, the reason why we translate diva as tenbu, is because the diva live in paradise. They are high up on the chain that we've been talking about. There's 10 levels. Buddha, Bodhisattva, Myo-o, diva. And then under that comes the humans, and then the animal realm, and the hungry ghosts, and the people who are living in hell. But the Tenbu number in the hundreds, and most of them do not have a cult. People don't worship them independently in this country. They are mostly appear in the mandala of the Shingon school and the Tendai school. So let's just quickly remind ourselves that here at the top we have the 4 enlightened realms with the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas and the Arhats from the Theravada tradition. Then down here, underneath the white line, we have the 6 realms of suffering, the 6 realms of karmic rebirth, the 6 realms of transmigration. And here at the very top are the diva, and they live in paradise. They have a wonderful time. It's a big party. But ultimately, even the divas are still trapped in the wheel of life. They're still trapped in these 6 worlds. They use up their good karma and they fall back down. And today we're talking about this realm, the diva realm. Let's just go, here we go. Let's review our last 3 presentations. The Buddha class here has the lump of knowledge, the third eye, the elongated ears, and the simple gown, simple dress. The Bodhisattva class has princely clothes. They're adorned with the jewelry and bracelets and anklets. And that's one way to easily identify, is it a Buddha or is it a Bodhisattva? Then we talked about, last time we talked about the Nyorai, the wrathful deities. And these are the fierce faces, fangs, fiery halo to burn away ignorance, burn away evil, and holding weapons to cut through ignorance, and holding a lasso to capture non-believers and bring them back to the light. So these 3 classes are very easy to identify. Just those simple rules will help you to identify a Buddha from a Bodhisattva, from a Nyorai, a wrathful being. Today we're talking about this class, the Tenbu, which were converted from the Hindu pantheon and adopted into Buddhism and became protectors of Buddhism. And it's going to be fun, I think. The most widely known of the Diva class converted to Buddhism are the Shitenno, the 4 heavenly kings. And these 4 kings are normally placed around the central image of a Buddha. And they represent north, south, east, and west. They protect all directions. And they are usually shown standing on top of evil, standing on top of demons. And they're stomping these. Here you can see there's a demon underneath all their feet. Here you can see there's a demon underneath all their feet. And here I have a picture of the demons. The Shitenno they came early to Japan, 7th century. Even before the Hindu deities as a group were imported, the Shitenno were one of the earliest groups of statues to arrive here. Here you can see here. They can be found in China and in Korea and in most of East Asia, representing the 4 directions, stomping out evil and holding weapons to defend the nation. Now, people might forget down here in the corner, I've given a little picture of a turtle, a tiger, a red bird, and a dragon. Before Buddhism was introduced to China, the Chinese already had 4 celestial guardians, these creatures. The dragon was spring and the east, and the red bird was summer and fire and south. I mean, this old imagery from China, these 4 animals who protected the nation, were converted into a Buddhist theme with the 4 Hindu deities. So now we've got China going from 4 animals to 4 Hindu deities, and now these 4 deities protect the central image of temples. You can hear here too, we see them stomping atop the demons. Okay,